My name is Kujo Yankson. Let me tell you how to turn back time. You can now bring back all the fun, all the excitement, all the controversy of the Super Morning Show and all your favorite Joy shows when you go to myjoyonline.com/podcasts. Just select your favorite show and bring it all back again. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Radio, Joy 99.7.
In our first story, health authorities in the Bono East region are worried about the number of COVID-19 deaths recorded since the outbreak of the pandemic. The region currently has a total of 58 deaths, representing 2.2% of the cumulative number of deaths recorded in the region, a figure above the national average of 0.7%. Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Fred Adumaku-Boateng, attributes the increased numbers to the late reporting of cases to health facilities. Anas Sabit has more in the following report.
The Bono East region has recorded a total of 58 COVID-19 deaths since the outbreak of the pandemic. This represents a case fatality of over 2.2%, a figure way higher than the national average of 0.7%. Dr. Fred Adumaku-Boateng is the Regional Director of Health Services. He says the figures means there is a challenge with the way the cases are handled across the region.
If you look at our case fatality, which is about 2.2, way higher than the national figure, hovering even not 0.7, it means that there is a challenge with the way that we are handling the cases. And I can tell you a number of reasons. One of them is the atypical presentation of the Delta variant. The way it was presenting in people was quite different from the other ones that we knew.
Dr. Adumaku-Boateng attributes the increased number of deaths to the late reporting of cases to the health facilities.
By the time you realize that, look, I am having a challenge, you report to the hospital very late. So you see one of the late reporting. That has been the challenge. And so you see, and then most of them are also happening in people with comorbid issues. And what we realize is that they may be having their normal drugs, but you cannot really control. They come to the hospital and you see that is the COVID. So one, because of the atypical presentation, not the usual things that we were looking at, that was one of them, and the time that they report at the facility.
He says as a means of helping rectify the challenge, the Directorate have trained more clinicians on the proper handling of COVID patients in other municipalities to help deal with case management.
We have heightened awareness among all health workers, especially aged people with comorbid issues, and more also people with all atypical presentation, because the COVID is not presenting us with the kind of normal. So you have heightened all the clinicians to be really be on high alert so that they can quickly pick the cases. What we have also done is that apart from Holy Family Hospital, we've been able to train other clinicians at Kintampo Hospital. And then the idea is going forward, we'll train other clinicians at Tebubu, Kwame Danso, St. Teresa, so that they can also manage the severe cases, and we don't need to also end the critical, and no, we don't need to refer all of them to one point, which will make the management a challenge.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tichiman.
You're watching Joy News today. Now, on our Drive Safe campaign, Director in charge of programming at the National Road Safety Authority, David Adonting, and transport consultants have been sharing some thoughts on how to reduce accidents on the country's roads. Key among measures in the installation is the installation of speed limits in public vehicles by the Road Safety Authority.
Road safety begins from all of us, we always say it. It is all of us. It is not from the National Road Safety Commission. It is not from the police, but majority of the problem is from us. And I think as citizens, what we need to do is to now talk to ourselves, okay? Because you will realize that most of the accidents occur on the highways, I mean, very fatal ones. And it's one reason which we always talk about, which is speed, right? I don't know why, many people cannot reason when it comes to speed, because the faster you go, the much problems you give to yourself, right? For instance, this morning I was on the Teshi Road, and everything was, moving from left to right, changing lanes, and I said, this guy will be in trouble. I mean, within some short time, there it was, bam. There was an accident right in front of me, and for I've captured it. I always use a dash cam in my vehicle, so I captured. Maybe I'll send it to you later on. And it's the same issue, speed. If we will control our speed, okay, Israel, I believe that will not even have one accident, because 90% of the accidents that we all see is one thing, which is speed. The faster you go, the much more difficult it is for you to solve the problem by reducing the speed. It is not from the police, it is not from the National Road Safety Commission or the authority. It is coming from all of us there. Now, let's extend the speedometer to replace the television sets that they watch, to keep them away from speed. That rather distracts their attention in every situation, and then will not care what the driver is doing. I mean, all what they will notice is that the car moves left, right, swerves, and then inside the bush they all go. And then when you are quiet at the mob there, you can't talk. And are you going to complain? Now, we need to look at that aspect.
This year in particular has been a very worrying year for all of us. If you look at the figures, to be honest, the figure we're recording now in 8 months, 1,927 in terms of deaths, is a figure we record annually. So it means that we have 4 months more to go. And yet we have hit already what we record in a year. So what is going to come, we don't know. But looking at the trend, it appears that this year will be one of the worrying years compared to the previous, because we have never gone that far if you look at the past 10 years. And so it is worrying. We had about 22 or 30 media stations running, sensitizing, educating, publicizing. We did an evaluation of it in quite recent times, and we could see the awareness level is rising. The publicity, road safety knowledge, it's about 81% as far as our records show us in the past number of months. That is very good. But the problem we have is that it is not reflecting on the ground. We always say agroniform, but we're not seeing it on the agroniform. What it means is that we have a bigger problem than perhaps we see.
All right.
We have provided the vaccine. I always call it a vaccine. The vaccine is the attitude, the indiscipline, ourselves. And I agree with my good friend Cecil. It's about us. Because in most cases, we have brought issues related to the roads. We said the roads are bad, it needs to be dualized, which we advocated for. We went into vehicles, and we say some of the vehicles are substandard. But I can tell you, in the recent crashes that were recorded, we have no road factor. But the roads were fine. They were good.
All right.
You could see the smoothness in terms of the surface. You could see the alignment. The road signs were there. The markings were there. And so the factor that contributed to these crashes were the human attitude, the behavior, the speeding, as you talk about, the wrongful overtaking. Because what would influence you on earth as an individual? A place that you and I use on the Accra Kumasi Road. I use it all the time. I go and come safely. And so sometimes I feel that it is not the kind of education we do, because thousands of drivers have used the same road and they came safe.
Let's return to matters related to COVID-19 and specifically on adherence to preventive protocols. My colleague Enim Ado has been speaking with some drivers at the Circle Neoplan station on the peer-to-peer campaign to enforce adherence and came through with this.
Me pato, me drivers there. Most drivers.
What are you doing?
Outside. Omo ye help us I say obi free baby a no odi akire. O baba be so ne nioma. Say on the Ghana adwumani a eti ono osori anopa no o fight say obenya bibi kakra dey. Edi. Eti ono osori na Dominica dey. Edi akire. But what you say?
Matthias. But with drivers in there, what share?
Available pa because answer na me no be urad office on no. Gate na no ya trouble say we say no smart I want me ura ho no. Eti answer me be urad makaka ju sika no. Also show be bia. Me ba so me baka no mu e be catch passengers no. Also bia answer ne there. Say there dey asu be because e bia dey hot in nchen mu dey ho no. Enti ane dey me ni wo ho a say bi o pay for to this adwuma na dey a share mensa.
Okay, into your buy no. Na man be around me who baby a wife wafa. But here kasa no say onu kra on believe say yare no wo ho. Ewo ha no wo sure. Is this something that people believe say yare na eni ho kra bio?
Me pacha yare ni die. So aka tell me say eni ho no ma. Aka tell me say eni ho no ma. Na we twantro. But ni nyina an say wa ni padua no. Wo be protect ho. Because me babia me point me badua me turn no smas me yenu me de ba ko ye adwuma ebo one am asesa me de Friday and pa me point ya no o se me sai dey atofo fro a me san de afo kai dey akofie because yes say ebia bibi maka chenchina me fanya me ho o se me de ye me ho god me be yare da fie a obi enu ba be he me yere ne me ma.
Now we'll catch them and say passengers sometimes we'll catch will you tell them to wear the mask one more hard drink akra.
No cray. A passenger for an own to crown. On Tokra Mura Kano Crano, na Eddie. And a horror who say Hano Yareno and Shada in ni esa. Yareno is almost play air ban no Yasaska for no Yare. Kaya Yareno cried aha. Ye kasa 101 utebi mi gina woni mu am no kasa yi ye nya bibia report bia mfia sa obi anya you say corona covid-19 obi anya bi wada ye hu report no bo a nyina afi omo mfia brochira omo ba ana omo nya sa am de yare no omo busofo no nya sa yare ba ha no sabi o de na mai do betwa bi do be ne nema ye ne nema sa ono sa ne ono ni obi ni on ko airport en ko pere eti ha no ba so obi be fra bochira ba oba be fo ka ono bi ada yare won ho a be patop me yare won ho a eno e betime eden e betim do abe side power car no eti na ya ma obi a eden e steady say on share na max until me kai say obi bia obehye me de ene me no kasafra ene meyi sisi
it is so almost say one sha we are one day
dabi so one sha can they be sure say wear your face mask before you enter the bus
ka bia nya sama ya say a driver but road minister enya boni road minister onye boni da driver for enya boni to the sense sabio ebra bi baaye abayi ba betra so na oye kwan no double road ade ama Ghana for anche enu otwa mu ana foforo baaye we ntumi antoa so bia oh akaye ni aye die mu anka wakasa waba no wanka ya se ya ban a waba no sabio aka ba ye kura manka ere ahye yanimunyam ye unsa mpa ye hye dia eden aba but ye dia ba wai wani asam si ya yes driver e boni driver for na eketi accident driver for na ye say but wura fi say e kwan na ye nam so no e ye kwan ba akopɛ yani trader boy sa ho yani taxi boy sa ho yani private boy yani motor boy sa ho adai yagito to isoki ajinanka driver for omuntia akanya me ya driver for triato esa di o man be koso na o manya kwa papa so nante.
Now, philanthropy, they say, is for the public good. It's a role in community and national development, and it remains very significant. This is why, at the Multimedia Group, we're leading the charge with our classroom project to promote the provision of education infrastructure in 2 communities. IT is also an opportunity for you to be part of a good social cause to promote social justice as well. Today on our campaign, we hear from a pupil and the head teacher of the Zunaili EA Primary School in Tolong in the Northern Region, appealing for your support to be able to complete a school block to enable them carry out academic work in a conducive environment.
My name is Muniru Baba. This is my school. We don't observe social distances because we are more than our classrooms.
We need help to complete this project because I don't think the PTA will be able to complete it. So if any assistance comes in and help us complete this project, we'll be much grateful. And even the teachers, we don't have office or staff common room. This 3 is our staff common room, and at the same time a P1. So if we get help to complete this classroom and then the teacher's office or staff common room, will be much grateful.
Well, the classroom project seeks to help communities. We're seeking to construct 2 classroom blocks, one in the central region and the other in the northern region, as you saw in that clip. For your support and assistance, you can send us a mobile money on 059 303 8832, or you can also do so via Access Bank, and the account number is 00901010549191 Castle Road branch. The branch code is 009 and the SWIFT code is ABNGGHAC. You may also reach us at our front desk in Kokomlemle for further inquiries on 0302 216 540. While Executive Director of the Ghana Philanthropy Forum, Dr. Ben Okra, who is also the consultant leading the development of safe school policy and also the ICT in education policy funded by UNICEF, UNESCO, says the public can leverage projects of such nature to promote social justice.
There is the notion that philanthropy can play a role in filling some of the financial gaps that we see. So philanthropy is very integral, and we have seen it demonstrated in many facets of the country. We have seen the demonstration of national philanthropy drive whenever the country or individuals see the need to support a cause. We saw it during the time of the flood, fire and flood disaster. We saw it also when this lady was molested at one of the banks that has to do with Midland savings. We saw how people trooped out and they gave out of their resources to support these instances. Just recently during the COVID era, we've seen how people have have given funds and donations. The government has the National COVID-19 Fund, which has received a lot of donations. Then the private sector fund that has also received so much of donation. The CSOs also had a fund that also received a lot of donations. Individually, we have people donating. So I would say that philanthropy has a place in our development. If we can nurture it properly and provide a structure for giving, that would really catapult us to a very safe zone. The Ghana Philanthropy Forum is starting a drive into community foundations where we have communities setting up institutions that will work like NGOs, but then there are foundations that are established. They have a governing structure, they have an account, and then they have a board, and then they have, like strategic plans. that is linked up to the development of their community. So they're able to map out community needs. And then, for example, if this school structure should be one of the things that the community wants to do, because normally these community foundations are patroned by the traditional leaders.
Well, supporters build 2 classroom blocks. You can send your mobile money again to 059-3038-832 or via the bank Access Bank, and the account number is 00901010549191, or you can call 03022165540. Well, poor classroom infrastructure and lack of furniture are among the major challenges impeding the smooth delivery of lessons at the Fakwasi Junior High School in the Atebubu, Amanti municipality of the Bono East region. Teachers in the school say the situation has over the years affected enrollment, with school-going children dropping out of school due to the lack of adequate furniture to sit on. Correspondent Anas Sabit visited the school, which serves a community of about 4,000 people, and came through with his report.
The lives of pupils and teachers here at the Fakwasi Junior High School in the Atebubu Amantin municipality of the Bono East region are in danger as they conduct lessons in these dilapidated structures. Cracked walls, dusty floors, loose door and window frames, and foul-smelling animal droppings characterize the school facility, which is the only school serving a community of about 4,000 people. Awambila Solomon is one of the new teachers posted to the school. He shares with Joy News some of the challenges facing the smooth running of the school.
The school buildings, for the JHS building, there are many cracks all over, and it poses a great threat to us, the teachers and the students there. Even once, there was a time one of the beams collapsed and it nearly hit some of the students. And we alerted the assemblyman, and he came and helped, and then they reconstructed that place.
This structure here is supposed to provide accommodation for the teachers here. However, teachers here have to abandon this structure to rent rooms in the community due to its poor nature.
I stayed here for some time before I went. I got a room and rented. And actually, it is because of its bad nature that I left and searched for a room to rent. Under it has been eroded, and it's very dangerous staying in it. And also, some parts of the roof do leak.
As a result, some of the teachers posted to this school seek for reposting and leave, eventually leaving the school with fewer teachers.
Actually, I was posted, we were 8 people posted here this year. And one, because of these problems, got reposting and left. So even the JHS, we are short of teachers. We don't have enough teachers to handle all the subjects.
For Chewa Hamilton, also a teacher here, the lack of furniture is affecting enrollment, with pupils dropping out of the school.
We don't have furniture for the children. Then the floor of the classrooms are bad. Because of the floor is not good and lack of our furniture, the children don't want to come to school because when they come, they don't have a place to sit.
You're watching Joy News today. Stay with us. We've got business with Daryl Kwao coming up.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Minister of Communications and Digitalization is confident the re-registration of SIM cards will reduce fraudulent activities drastically and build confidence in the telecom sector. At a press briefing Sunday, Eslo Kufu announced the exercise will start from the 1st of October this year. She added the SIM card registration would help promote financial inclusion.
Many benefits would accrue to individuals, organizations, and the state with SIM registration. When undertaken correctly, as we intend to do, it will reduce or eliminate fraudulent or criminal activities, help authorities ascertain the accurate number of valid and accurate SIMs on their networks, enable operators to build better demographics of their customer base, and help them develop products and services to suit the various groupings. The regulator, NCA, will also get more accurate data to regulate the industry even better. SIM registration will enhance economic growth as more confidence is built in the telecommunications sector and people utilize secure devices to access e-government services and other private mobile-based digital solutions. It will minimize mobile money fraud, identity fraud, and support financial inclusion across the vulnerable sectors. I'm sure there are countless examples, and all of us are victims of social media platforms and impersonation taking place of high-ranking personalities in the country. And invariably, they provide mobile numbers for some monies to be paid to secure jobs, opportunities, whatever. All of them are fake. Let me use this medium to reiterate the point that no minister, member of parliament, public sector official is offering jobs or favors on either LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media platform for the payment of a protocol fee and filling of any forms on any such platforms. Anybody who is enticed to undertake any such exercise is the victim of a fraud. And we're hopeful that with the SIM registration exercise, that avenue for defrauding Ghanaians would also be closed permanently.
Eslo Kufo addressing the press Sunday. Let's turn to other news for you. Poultry farmers will soon receive free vaccines to help them treat Newcastle disease. The United States Department of Agriculture has donated about 560 birds to the Accra Veterinary Lab, a subsidiary of the Veterinary Service Directorate. Eggs produced by these birds will be used in making Lesotho strain, a type of Newcastle disease vaccine to be given to poultry farmers whose birds have been affected by the disease without charge. There is more in this report.
Accra Veterinary Laboratory, a subsidiary of the Veterinary Service Directorate, will begin the manufacturing of Newcastle disease vaccines to be given freely to poultry farmers affected by the disease. Head of Accra Veterinary Laboratory, Dr. Theophilus Odum, explained the process of making the vaccine and how important it is to curing the Newcastle disease.
The Newcastle vaccine is produced through eggs. So we use the egg where we harvest allantoic fluid to prepare the vaccine. And this vaccine is one of the effective and potent vaccines that fight against Newcastle disease. We know that it helps the poultry farmers, and the poultry farmers are aware. They want them, sometimes when they come, we don't have it in place due to the lack of eggs. To get the specific pathogen-free eggs is very difficult. Sometimes we have to import it from outside or get them locally. But when you get them locally from here, many a times the eggs come contaminated with E. coli, Salmonella, and Campylobacter and other things. So we try as much as possible to get our own eggs from here. And with the support of GPP, as you can see, the farm handed over to us today, we can get our own eggs and produce the vaccine in abundance for all farmers, commercial, local farmers, and backyard farmers to use it in their farms.
A memorandum of understanding was signed between the United States Department of Agriculture and the Veterinary Service Directorate to officiate the handing over of the birds to the Directorate. Here is Deputy Director of the Veterinary Service Directorate, Dr. Darlington Owusu.
In this poultry, we'll have constant supply of vaccines for their work. And when we talk about SPF, what do you mean specific pathogen-free? These are special eggs. The lab can use eggs for their vaccines, but most of the time when they buy from the open market, they don't get the correct mix of vaccines. Most of them will die. So this time they decided that with the support of GPP to get their own parent stock, rear them up to a point where they can lay the eggs that are clean without any infection, which will be used for the vaccine production.
Meanwhile, Chief of Party for the Ghana Poultry Project, Karianne Debois, stated that her outfit has the agricultural sector at heart, hence the decision to support the veterinary service to manufacture vaccines to treat the Newcastle disease.
The Veterinary Service Department in Ghana has been able to develop the I2 vaccine, which is less sensitive to temperatures, so it's much easier than to bring that into the communities. The I2 vaccines are being developed by where they need the eggs of the chickens as a basic ingredient to enable them to create doses for the farmers to being able to vaccinate against Newcastle disease.
And there's more business news coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. Sports is up next.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the segment with me, Hore Kuampofo. It's a big day for the Black Stars because there is another FIFA World Cup qualifier, this time against South Africa in Johannesburg, as Ghana would be looking to continue what has been a perfect start so far in Group G. Remember, they beat Ethiopia by 1-0, and head coach of the side, Sika Akono, and then goalkeeper Richard Ofori have been speaking ahead of the big game this afternoon, and they are very confident of a win for the Black Stars.
It is a match that we've taken very, very serious. When we played Ethiopia, there were certain things we needed to do. We've learned from that thing, and I believe that come tomorrow, Monday, we will improve in the area. We're looking forward to have a good match. We're looking forward to get 3 points, and that's what we're here.
Yeah, this game is very important. It's not for only me, it's for the nation, because we know how the nation love the game, and then how important this game is for the nation, because we want to go to the World Cup. That's the stage that every player wants to play. So it's very important for the team and then for the nation. But I'm playing with a couple of the players. Most of the players I'm playing with them here. And then I know their qualities, they are very good. But at the end of the day, we are Ghana, so we need to show we are Ghanaian national team. And then the most important thing.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, Ghanaian gospel musician Noble Nketia has described his gospel music journey as a tough one, but added that God came through for him. Speaking on Joy FM's The Reason is Jesus, Noble recounted how music producer Maurice Babyface contributed to his successful music career.
I remember I was selling, I'm coming from a house that didn't have so much, so I have to help my mom. I have been a mate before. I've sold brownie before. This aluminium cooking utensils, and we used to do all of them at Abu Abu, and when we're done, we have to go out there and sell it. I have slept, ate, and worked on the street for almost like 8 years.
Really?
And during those times, one of the time when I was going to sell one of my brownie things, I was what we do is we go buy the bill, we come home and wash, and then we soak some flour bee, some scented flour bee, and then we overnight and then use the water to rinse the things, and then it smells very good. So you won't think that it's brownie.
I see.
Then we tell you it's soil reject. So when you load one shine high.
That's not it.
So one of these days I was washing when Maurice Babyface was walking by my house, and he heard me singing, and he stopped and was like, you have such a beautiful voice. Why are you wasting your time selling brownie with it instead of coming to the studio for me to record you? Because the people come to the studio with some bonyo voice, and yet they call themselves musicians. So stop washing and follow me to the studio and let's record. And like a joke, I just also stopped washing and I followed him to the studio. And we started recording.
Did you know him already?
We lived in the same area, but I didn't even know that he was a music producer. Wow. Yes, and at that same time, Esther Smith was also recording because we lived in the same neighborhood. Okay. And so on that day we went there, and he asked me if I had songs written, and I told him I've written just 4 songs, and he said okay, he will write some for me. But whilst we were recording the 4 songs, I mean, God gave me 2 more songs, so I wrote them.
Well, thanks to Becky for Show Business. That's it for Joy News today. Thank you so much for your company. Log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. My name is Mama Vils Wawaje.